and actors and everyone involved. And I wanted to thank my sister, Laura, and my friend Gracie for coming from New York. And Teenie really wanted to be here, but he has emphysema, so it's hard for him to fly. But he wanted to come, and he wanted to thank everyone for coming too. So, any questions? Yes?
Sure. How did you get started on this specific film? Did you know him before?
Yeah, I've been a painter before I made this movie. I've always been an artist. And I worked for this band called Cat Power as the tour manager. Yeah. And she did a record called The Greatest, where she worked with all these Memphis musicians, and Teenie was the most famous person on the record. And I was the tour manager for that tour, and basically Teenie and I, we just became like best friends on the tour and hung out on the tour, and then I just got fascinated by him and all his stories and decided to make a documentary on him. So that's how it happened. Yes?
I guess my reaction to me was, that ain't no mouse music. you know the film?
What's mouse music?
What can you say about the relationship between High and Stax Records?
Oh, sure, gladly. Sure.
Force at that time.
Oh, sure, I'm happy to talk about that. Thank you.
Hi. He asked what the relationship was between High Records and Stax Records. There was a documentary made about Stax Records, and a lot of really famous soul singers were on Stax, like Otis Redding. And to give you an example of the relationship between the two, David Porter, who was in the movie, wrote a lot of hit songs with Isaac Hayes, and he wrote like the song Soul Man, and they kind of took Teenie under their wing when Teenie was young, and but then Willie Mitchell discovered Teenie, so he ended up on High, but just as easily he could have ended up on Stax. There was a friendly competition, I think, between the two, but he played on records over there too. They're actually not very far from each other in Memphis. If you ever go to Memphis, I highly recommend going to the Stax Museum. They have a little exhibit about High Records, and you can drive by High Records. It's not that far from Stax. It's in the same neighborhood.
Another question, what's the music scene like in Memphis now? Is there something distinctive about it?
Oh, definitely. Soul music in Memphis is alive and well. This amazing thing has happened at Stax. They have a Stax charter school for children. A lot of the kids in there are underprivileged, and they've started, it's called the Stax Soul Academy, and they train all these kids in soul music, and a lot of the kids have ended up going to like the Berklee School of Music, and so they've definitely kept the traditions alive. But then there's also like a lot of other kinds of music in Memphis, like I don't know if you guys ever heard of the indie artist Jay Reatard. He came from Memphis. So there's definitely like a very vibrant scene in Memphis that continues, and all these old people that played on records, they still live there and they still play. So if you go there, you can hear amazing music.
Well, unfortunately, we have to go out, but I invite you all to meet Susanna outside, and then if you still have questions for her, she will be more than happy. Yeah. And I'd like you to give it up for Susanna.
Thank you. Thank you for having me so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming with your beautiful films. So is there anybody here that speaks French, that understands French? Anyone? Okay, those of you who understand French, you are invited to a tribute that we're going to do to Mimi Barthélémy. Mimi Barthélémy, we're going to screen a film about her life. It was a storyteller in Haiti, like the most famous storyteller. So it's a deep story. She just passed away, so it's a commemoration. So if you understand French, because the film is in French, so you're invited to Salle 3. Hein? À la salle 3, on vous attend. Donc, c'est mon invitation à vous, courtoisie de la maison. À la salle 3 à côté, donc vous n'avez qu'à faire la file et puis on va arranger ça. Ok, merci. À tout à l'heure.
Hello. Oh, ça, je dois le mettre en avant ou on la porte là?